And we're back with more GAWT. Now it's time for Grown Ass Woman News. Each week, I'll get Erica's take on this week's entertainment news, current events, and news about grown ass women. First up, Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone is in Italy, and
Everybody's in
honey,
Italy.
she's at this festival, the Torino Festival,
Mm.
and she was very vocal about why she believes that Trump won. She recently was at a press conference and she delivered this lecture. She basically said that, our country has not seen fascism, but Italy has.
Mm.
And Americans who don't travel, they are not as educated. And she says that 80% don't have a passport, they're uneducated, and they are in an extraordinary naivete. So basically, she's saying, and she got deeper, she says, we must say that good men must help good men. And those good men must be very aware that a lot of your friends are not good men. And you can continue to pretend that your friends are good men when they are not good men. And you must be very clear minded and understand that your friends who are not good men are dangerous, violent men, and you have to keep them away from your daughters, wives, and your girlfriends. She went off.
Well, listen, I have a couple of things to say about this. First of all, we talked about Denzel last week, and having to take his keys because he's being too honest. Like sometimes. How old is Sharon? Same age as Denzel. I mean, that's when you gotta take grandma's keys. But I will say, I don't think she's wrong. Listen, I was married to an Italian. I spent a lot of time in Italy, and unless you go out of the country, you don't realize how wonderful America is and how much freedom we do have until you go to a fascist country. Even though Italy's not fascist now, but it has a fascist history, and the economy is horrible, and they have zero water pressure, so you can't even take a shower and get the soap off. I mean, that's the egregious part to me. But
Wow.
but I'm just saying, my point being that she's right in the sense that unless you have a more global view, you don't have the context of what we're going through geopolitically here.
I mean, I will say that, when you don't travel the world, you don't see what other people are doing. So
Exactly.
I think in that sense that she is correct. I just think that people are really upset, they're mad, and they're letting out their emotions. And they can do that when they're in another country.
Well, I mean, but yeah, well, exactly. Like how Ellen and Portia, now they're in England, I guess, or London.
Yeah, I'm not moving nowhere.
No,
I'm
listen,
staying right here, and I'm
of
gonna fight for
course,
my country and fight for my
absolutely.
rights. You don't have to get up and move and all this. This stuff happens. We have, like I said, we have the midterms, which is in 2 years. If you don't like what's happening, and you're gonna see that a lot of people are not gonna like what's happening with these proposed changes that Trump is saying and things like that.
Absolutely.
But it was just amazing to me how vocal she was. And, and I only wanted to highlight it because I always tell people, get you a passport and travel. And what it will do is it will make you appreciate this country
100%.
a lot more. We
There
don't
is no
appreciate it.
absolutely. I mean, again, being married to an Italian and spending half the year in Italy, I could not wait to get back to America. There's so
Yeah.
many things you take for granted, like water pressure.
Bad water pressure. Moving on. Billboard magazine staff has officially named Beyonce the greatest pop star of the 21st century, a recognition that highlights her extraordinary contributions to the music world. And this esteemed title has been awarded to her for the second time, emphasizing not only her remarkable talent and artistry, but also her immense impact and influence within the music industry. For the past 27 years, Beyonce has reshaped the pop landscape with her innovative sound, powerful performances, transformative music videos. And they have like a list of top 10 people that they put. Beyonce is number 1. They had Taylor Swift as number 2, Rihanna number 3, Drake number 4, Lady Gaga number 5, Britney Spears 6, Kanye West number 7, Justin Bieber, number 8, number 9, Ariana Grande, and number 10, Adele. What you think about this list?
Well, first off, shout out to my cousin Bay, because we roll like
Oh
that.
Lord, here we go.
But
My
here's my
cousin.
thing, like number 2, I think Tay Tay's probably pissed off about that, right? I mean,
Those Swifties, yeah, they're gonna be
they're coming for the.
upset.
Well, that's a good question. Who is more powerful, the Beehive or the Swifties?
Oh,
What if they had to do like a gang fight, like in like the Jets and the Sharks?
it could be like a West Side Story type
That's
of
what I was
thing.
saying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The Jets
Yeah.
and the Sharks. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the Beehive would get them. I think they would cut them. They cut a Swiftie.
I think people get caught up with, oh, Taylor, she's putting out all these albums. She went from country to pop. I will
Mm-hmm.
say that. But when you think about the fact that Beyonce has done pop, then she had a dance album, then she did a country album right now. I mean, it's just, and then she always included the culture in some type of way
Yes.
that had people changing. She has been very influential.
I get it. I get it. Here's my other question then. Why is Rihanna on this list? When's the last album she had? When did she put out music?
Well, I mean, when you think about it, though, we still listen to Rihanna's music.
But I mean, we buy her makeup now more so than listen to her music. I mean, I love Rihanna. Don't get me wrong.
Well, it says 21st century, so that means
well.
that's a big a big chunk of time. And I like Rihanna. I don't think she should have been number 3.
Yeah, that's high up.
But now that I look at the list, I'm like, people. I mean, seriously, really haven't, like, even like you see somebody like Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande, she just sings, but it's
Well, what is she supposed to do? Well, she's in a movie now.
But it's like you see Beyonce, she's singing, she's dancing, then she does all her side hustles, and then she has this wonderful organization down in Houston where she's helping some young women with housing and things like that. And so I don't know. I don't know. I just see singers as not. I see Beyonce more like of a community type like person than anyone else.
Well, I think to your point, I think to your point, if the criterion is like influence, like if they're being influential outside of music, then that I think you're right. That Beyonce clearly like leads that. But if you're talking about who's influential in music alone, I don't think Rihanna should be on the list because she hasn't done anything in a while. But she's influential in the culture. She's influential in fashion. The same way Kanye
that's what they
is.
added. Okay. They added all of that. They're talking about not only just the artistry and the songs, because if it was that, then of course it would be Taylor. But of course they're going to try to cause some type of controversy by putting Taylor number 2.
And the Swifties are gonna be pissed. I'm just saying, it's gonna be on.
But that doesn't take anything away from. I wish that we.
I'm here for it. I'm here for the Swifties meets the Beehive. I'm here for
to see people fighting.
You know that I do. I love that.
Moving on. I love Gabby Sidibe. And I love her husband.
They're so cute.
They're so cute, and those babies are so cute. And someone left a comment on one of her husband Brandon's recent posts. He always posts pictures of her. He posts pictures of the babies and stuff. And so someone posted, and they were basically saying, "Oh, she looks homeless," and he stuck up like,
good for him.
What you not gonna do? He simply said, disrespectfully, "I know you ain't talking."
Good for him. Good for him. That's her man. That's what he should do. Now, let me tell you, I saw she did one video where she was exhausted and she was like trying to put her wig on. And then she's just like, you know what? Fuck it, guys. I don't know why I'm doing it. She pulled it off. Because having a baby, I mean, I have so many friends who've had babies where I'll go to their house and there'll be like shit everywhere because it's like the baby has like just immediately like exploded the diaper the minute you come over. And so having twins, can you imagine?
I know.
I mean, you can't be cute. And I'm sure like that's lovely of him to be, in it with her because he's probably there changing diapers and exploding shit right with her. So he gets it. Don't
I
come for
love
his
it.
girl.
I love that he is always taking up for her. It's obvious that he loves his family, that he
Mm,
loves those babies, and it's so good to see that. And
yes,
we are so big on judging people based on how they look and how we feel like, well, you're not deserving of something like this. Well, yes, everyone is deserving of love.
absolutely.
Everyone is deserving of being respected, and I'm just happy that he just took up for her. So I just love it. I just
As
think
he
good
should.
job, Brandon. So
Great job, Brandon.
moving on, the musical Wicked and the action epic Gladiator 2 racked up a combined $270.2 million in global ticket sales over the weekend.
Whoa.
And it's a gift to the cinemas because they
They're back,
they need
baby.
help.
They're back,
Okay.
baby. Yeah.
Um, Wicked, the first of two Universal Pictures films based on a Broadway prequel to The Wizard of Oz, topped the domestic and the global box office. It pulled in $114 million plus $50 million in international markets. So, did you go see Wicked?
you know I didn't go see it. Girl, I don't leave my house. But I will say, Wicked is one of my favorite musicals. I saw it, back in the day, and it's so good. And I want to see it. I'll just wait till it comes on, my TV. Or hopefully I'll get it as a screener, because I'm getting screeners now, so I'm excited.
You know what? I was just happy for the ladies, for Ariana and
Yes.
for Cynthia Erivo, because first of all, Cynthia, she's one award away from being the youngest EGOT ever.
Oh, for real? Yeah, she needs Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she needs
She
the
might get it.
Oscar.
She might get it.
I
She might get
mean,
it for
and
this.
she did her own stunts. She sang. Of course, she acted, but she's been in this business for a while. And there are some people that are like, "Oh, I didn't know who Cynthia Erivo was." Well, she played Harriet Tubman in Harriet. She's been in the movies Widows with Viola Davis. I mean, she's been around. I first saw her on Broadway for The Color Purple, where she won her Tony, and she was phenomenal. I mean, that sister can sing. And of course, Ariana is Ariana Grande. She's fabulous. And it's just nice to see a movie kind of bring people together and has some meaning and some purpose to it.
Well, I just love, first of all, The Wizard of Oz is a great story, but the same way that Hamilton took this different take on history, Wicked is such a different take on that story. Going to the prequel of this relationship and seeing how the Wicked Witch and the Good Witch were friends at one point. So you get to backstory on the whole thing. I love when people are so creative when they can come up with that kind of stuff. It's so brilliant. I wish I thought of it. Do you think, again, going back to the dynamic, like you said, Ariana Grande is this pop star and she's beautiful and everybody loves her and she's got her fan base. Do you think Cynthia was feeling a little disrespected, insecure? She's playing the bad witch versus the good witch. It's all built in.
The one thing I will say is you don't know what happens while you're filming a movie.
Exactly.
And there are emotions, there are things that happen, and we don't know.
Did Ariana get the bigger dressing room? You know what I'm saying? Did Ariana get flowers?
There was a rumor as we move on that Ariana had gotten a $15 million payday, whereas Cynthia Erivo only had $1 million. And that started getting around on the internet. All right. But according to People magazine, no, Ariana Grande was not paid 15 times more than Cynthia Erivo for Wicked. The studio cleared up the pay disparity rumor. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo received equal pay for their work on Wicked, a spokesman for the studio said. So, because it started like hotcakes online, and people, people don't understand. The studios, they had to debunk it because they said, "Oh, Ariana was paid 15 million to play, and then Cynthia was only paid 1 million." And I will say this: that kind of stuff happens in Hollywood.
Yes, 100%.
And so that's why a lot of people are like,
Well,
did
that's
it?
why it explains like maybe why Cynthia was in her feelings all the time about this, this press junket, because maybe she's feeling a little insecure
But no,
about.
the studio is saying that's not true. They were paid equally.
Right. No, I get that, but I'm just saying there's other things within the dynamic on set. Like, you're an actress, you get there and you're like, your trailer is like next to the bathroom or something. You know what I mean? Versus like somebody else gets a big trailer with flowers. And I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just saying there seems to be something that Cynthia is kind of holding on to, which maybe she feels like she wasn't treated as well as Ariana.
I will say that the studio was at times like Cynthia had been left out of a lot of the press junkets and press questions, and her co-star Jonathan Bailey, was including her in a lot of the answers. So there was like it wasn't the stars that were doing it, it was the media.
Sure.
I feel. And this is why I say when you have good co-stars that recognize what's happening, they can help make it, they can help pull it in and not make it so obvious and let people know, hey, she's a star too.
Right. This is
as a matter of, she's more decorated than Ariana. Ariana sing her butt off and got all the hits, songs and stuff like this. It's just that Cynthia has been busy making movies on Broadway. The girl has talent. She just hasn't done an album yet.
Listen, a movie, again, it's just like a television show. It's so unfortunate because it's built into the way that you film a movie or television show that you have a call sheet, right? For example, like Ariana's first on the call sheet, probably. I mean, Cynthia might be number 2. There's a hierarchy built in to production, and that's unfortunate. But that people's feelings get hurt. When you're 8th on the call sheet, and you're supposed to be doing press with someone who's first on the call sheet, you're going to get different, accoutrement, and it's unfortunate because it's hard to no one, not everyone can be first together. Like, they don't just make Cynthia and Ariana first, like co-first. There's always somebody who, by definition, gets to be above you, and that's the nature of the business, and it's difficult and hard, and I get it.
Yeah, well, at least this is part 1. There will be a part 2 movie coming out. I'm just happy that you see a Black woman making her way and being successful. And the thing, this is what's interesting, was that Cynthia was in The Color Purple, the Broadway version. And when the Color Purple movie came out, there have been word on the street that there was some type of tension, and that's the reason why Cynthia wasn't in the Color Purple movie.
Interesting.
And what's interesting even more is that it kind of goes back with with our theme about protecting your peace. Sometimes things aren't meant for you, because she didn't do the Color Purple movie, and look at what happened with that movie. And now she's in a movie that is a phenomenal hit.
Huge. Yeah.
And her talent speaks for itself.
Absolutely.
So it is what it is. All right. Moving on. Fans of Shaboozey call out the CMA Awards after the rising country star lost both categories he was nominated for, despite the massive success of his hit song, a bar song, Tipsy. It's still number 1. It is still number 1. They were like basically throwing shade the whole time, mispronouncing his name. He was, they're doing all kind of stuff just to irritate him. And then like this one guy got up and won an award, and he was like, oh, I guess we gonna kick the Shaboozey. So because he did that, Shaboozey got online and basically put out an X and said, ain't nobody kicking me. And we're like, ooh. This is a mess. It's a pure mess. So what do you think about this? I mean,
well, listen, first of all, I told you no one's checking for Shaboozey except for you.
And the number 1 song, the country song that's been there for like 19 weeks. What are you talking about? I will say this. When Black people,
do country,
are when there's somebody that comes into the R&B category or the neo soul, we accept them with open arms. The NAACP will nominate them. The Grammys, of course, which is not community based, but the NAACP, Ebony Magazine, we let everybody come in.
Right.
We don't sit back and make fun of people or make of their name. Come on, Adele. Come on, Justin Timberlake. We let everybody come in.
Right.
Come on, Justin Bieber. If your name Justin, come on in. We sing the songs with us. Sing your songs. We'll listen to Eminem. We don't
Right.
sit back and we don't do that.
But
So-
welcome to Donald Trump's America. Now the CMAs has become like flag waving. I'm proud to be an American. I mean, all that is like, I mean, come on, you're surprised? And poor Shabuzi had to go up in there after the election being like, like the butt of everybody's jokes.
Well, we still have the Grammys, so.
Okay, I'm rooting for Shabuzi because I
Thank you. Finally.
To be vindicated. Come on,
I had
Shabuzi.
to do 3 stories about this man for you finally to realize what I was trying to say to you.
You
Thank
love
you.
Shabuzi. God, I mean, what's going on? James, you better be worried about Shabuzi. You better check Shabuzi.
Moving on. Demure is dictionary.com's word of the year. If that's news to you, here is the backstory. The word of the year, dictionary.com always picks it. And the credit is going to the lifestyle and beauty influencer Jules LeBron and her catchphrase, very demure, very mindful. Demure means reserved, quiet, modest, but the reaction to LeBron's use of the word was anything but. People lost it. I mean, she literally put up this short video and she was saying, how to be demure at work. My hair is laid, my makeup is done, my lashes are on, very demure, very mindful. And I think people love the word because it's French and they never heard it. And it's like, it's something that they never heard before. It's demure. Demure? It sounds fancy. Well, that's what I thought.
Well, first of all, I'm going to say we helped Demure get into the dictionary because we used it too in reference to our girl Kamala. Remember when we were talking about her pantsuits and we talked about her needing to be demure. So we helped it get there. So I'm going to take credit, partial credit. You and I should take partial credit.
There's this new hashtag. It's called Women in Male Fields. And if you click on the hashtag, you'll find a whole bunch of videos or stills of women behaving the way many men of today behave towards women and giving them a taste of their own toxic medicine, a little tongue in cheek. So this trend is given like that Sierra a video in 2006, her song Like a Boy, where she literally was singing, I wish we could switch up the roles and I could be like that, tell you I love you, but when you call, I never get back. Or would you ask them questions like me, like where you at? It's like that. So this is a big trend. And it's really funny. There's this one text. He's like 35 and single. So I asked him, what's your backup plan if no one marries you? Because a lot of females are, if they're 35, the men ask that type of way. So I think this is a cute little trend. It kind of gives men, a taste of their own medicine. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I think didn't Beyonce had a song like that too, where she was like, "If I was a boy."
If
right?
I was a boy.
If I was a boy, yeah. And this again, you and I, with our fingers on the pulse of the culture, the female culture. We talked about this with Margaret Cho. We're talking about like, oh, do we want a guy to go home? We like order him to get out of our house after we've had some some ass. So that's a boy thing, right? That's like being a boy. And we talked about being, in the workplace with men, like. Yeah, I mean, this has been going on. And we, again, I think have pioneered the voice of it. So welcome women to our world, to being grown-ass women who, act like men and own their power.
Anyway, lastly, Bravo announced Tuesday that the entire cast of the Emmy-nominated reality show Vanderpump Rules has been scrapped in favor of a new group of cast members.
Good. I'm out.
Do you watch Vanderpump Rules?
I mean, come on. Yes. I'm all about the scandal ball. I know all about that.
And Lisa Vanderpump celebrated the change up in a statement. She basically said the last 12 years of filming have been extraordinary, and full of laughter, tears, and everything in between. I can't thank enough of those who have shared their lives and how I love them all. In the restaurant business, one shift away always gives way to another. Cheers to the next generation of Vanderpump Rules. The executive producer said that with profound appreciation for the original group and their iconic run, we can't wait for the audience to see a dynamic new group of coworkers and friends make their way through life together. Wow. I mean, to scrap the whole.
Yes. That's why those statements are so crazy. The idea, we love them so much, we've had so much fun. Ratings are down. Fire them all. Like,
But
there's
they're
no
the
loyalty.
first reality show to win an Emmy.
If the ratings are down, you gotta go. That's welcome to television, man. Because people revolted against the Scandival, right? I think they blew their load on that, and then ratings went down. And so it's lovely to say, we built this whole thing together, and you guys are wonderful, but the ratings are down, so you're all fired. And now we're gonna get a bunch of new crazy people in here.
I'm like, but y'all talk about the Scandival, but then they put Scandival on season 3 of the Traitors.
I know, I can't wait for that. It's my favorite show.
That bad.
I love Traitors.
This is why it's like, no.
No, Scandival's on everything, but again, I think Scandival blew his load on that show because all of them together, you can't the dynamic of the whole group is kind of imploded. Like nobody wants to work together anymore. It's too much trouble, so they're gone. Same when they rebooted Housewives of New York. Everything that needs a reboot. Reboot is like the thing. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I'll tune in for the first episode and we'll see if they're interesting.
It's like I'm just like I just think that that's a bad move to scrap everybody. Like you have no familiar face. Like,
well, let's see what happens. I'm sure they'll get the ratchetest people ever. Listen, I grew up in Beverly Hills. I grew up with these kids. Like this is it was a different time, but they're gonna do the most just to be on TV.
And why are you looking forward to season 3 of the Traitors?
That is my shit. Let me tell you, that's my show. I don't know how I found it, but I'm so happy that I did.
And it's going to have Bob the Drag Queen from RuPaul's Drag Race.
I love Bob the Drag Queen.
Robin Dixon from The Real Housewives.
Oh, wonderful.
And Britney Spears' ex-husband, Sam Asghari.
Love him.
I think he is so cute, and he's really trying hard. He is trying so hard to make it in the industry.
I think he'll come off really well because I bet you he's really sweet and he'll be super cute and maybe he'll win. Maybe he's
always down. He helps us at Project Angel Food every year for Thanksgiving. He's always down there and volunteering and stuff like that. He's really very nice man. So, and you see, he's just trying to make it.
I think this is a good thing for him. It's a win for him, like to come on and change his perception. Not that he had a bad perception, but now people can figure out who he is. Like people didn't know who he was, right? If he comes on and he's smart and he's charming, this is a win for him. It's a lot of people who come on. It's like, why are you doing this? Like Boston Rob, right? Is on. I'm like, I'm so sick of Boston Rob being on every reality show. Like he's on everything that they will cast him on. Like, clearly, he needs money because he's on every single show.
Yeah, I mean, we all do. And I don't know why the public, they don't necessarily like Sam, but maybe because of everything that happened with Britney.
Well, they love Britney. People love Britney.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, we'll see what happens. And
I'm rooting for Sam. I think he'll be great. I think people will fall in love with him. That's my prediction.
I can tell you he's a nice guy, but we'll see. And with that said, we're going to take a little break. And when we come back, we're going to jump into today's topic with Sandra Bernhardt. This is Grown Ass Women. What? Talking.